the following presentation of the National Football League.
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League takes us to British Columbia and the gleaming jewel that is Vancouver, Canada. Tonight, it's on to Week 10 already. Hard to believe, and we've got a good one in store. As it'll be the Black Knights of Columbus taking on the Snowhawks of Vancouver. On the visitors' sideline, their head coach. His guys, losers a week ago, trying to turn things around here. On the other side, the head coach of the home team. His guys ready to show out in front of the home fans as they try to send them home happy at the end of this one. Just about set for a start. Happy to have you with us, and we are underway here on Thursday Night Prime Time. And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. They're led out by their quarterback, a day 3 selection in this year's draft.
I tell you what, when he is on schedule for that week, secondaries take notice because you've got to stay alert back there on every snap. A truly powerful arm, one that's capable of challenging any level of the defense on any given play. That's why so many scouts preach arm talent when preparing for the NFL draft. A quarterback with arm strength to make every throw in the book, he's an asset to have in any offense.
The game's first play produces 6 yards, brings up second down. The numbers for Brooks a week ago, 8 carries, 70 yards.
Well, obviously he didn't have a great deal of time between games, having to turn around on a short week and get ready for Thursday night football. But he said in pregame he was feeling pretty good and felt more recovered from last week's contest than he would have expected. Didn't seem to think this short week was going to affect him much as he chases a big performance here in prime time.
Off play action, it's Cunningham. He's going to flip that out to the flat. It's complete. Just a gain of a couple there. And it makes it 3rd down and 2 yards to go. They'll come to the line needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. Here's Cunningham. A throw left sideline for us, incomplete.
No surprise at all. They're looking for the big man early in this one. The only surprise for them, he couldn't hang on to the pass.
So on 4th down, here's the Australia native Mitch Wishnowsky to punt this one away. They punted 3 times in the loss last week as he sends this one away. Just a 30-yard punt that time. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. And they will be led out by a guy certainly still trying to prove himself here in the league, the young rookie quarterback.
For every rookie prospect, there are always nerves involved in this moment. Running your team out to start a game. But there's a reason they brought him in. We're willing to make him their starter today. They believe he can overcome those nerves and lead his team to a victory. We saw him do it at the collegiate level and really make himself into a leader and someone you can envision doing the exact same thing here in the NFL.
Here we go, set. Let's go.
They'll start on the ground here on 1st down. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. When you look at this defense, they've played well against the pass, currently ranked 7th in the NFL.
This secondary has really developed into one of the strengths of this team. They diagnose, they cover, they run, they hit. What a nice team.
So give him 2 yards there on the completion. 3rd and 7 now. Charles, Thursday night game, I think a lot of teams probably say shrink the playbook somewhat. Is that correct?
I think you're right about that because you just don't have the amount of time that you have in a normal week to put in a full playbook. So as you said, you shrink the playbook,
Pick out the plays that work best for you. You know what else you're looking for? Who are the freshest guys coming off the last game to play on a Thursday night? Guys have a little extra pep in their step. You go to them early and often.
So on fourth down, Matthew Hayball on to punt. Yards that time on the punt. And that will come the offense as they take over. The Black Knights offense led by their running back headed out for the second possession. And he's made his presence felt in the passing game throughout the season. You look at the NFL's leader in receiving yards by a running back. His name right there at the top. The offense back out there at the line ready for their next drive. And they come into this one off the loss over the weekend. But you say if you're going to play a Thursday night game, this is the week to do it.
It certainly is, because you get right back out there. You don't have time to dwell on things. And look, your game plan is going to be a little more limited, but so is theirs. So that's when you just appeal to your top players. Guys, you make plays in this one, we out-execute them, we can walk away with a win.
Now a run here off the RPO. He'll keep it. And he goes out right around the 39. 5 yards on the scramble, and that's enough to pick up the first. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. They'll run straight ahead with Brooks. And they'll get to him after a gain of 7 to the 47. You often say that sort of opens the playbook now, 2nd and short. What do you think, early shot here?
I like where you're going. Obviously, we've been together for a while because you know me. I want to take that shot early and loosen things up.
60 Bison, 60 Bison.
Once again, it's Brooks. And great blocking downfield as he's got this almost to the 35-yard line. It's a pickup of 17 and a 1st down.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember, the last drive, they went 3 and out.
So on the other side of the field now, it's 1st and 10 as they've got things rolling on this drive. Up the middle with Brooks here. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the 1st down run. He gets maybe 3. But you look at this defense. They are number 2 in the NFL against the run right now, Charles.
Most of their challenges have come in the passing game because against the run, they've been pretty darn good. Now you got to figure out a way to slow down those receivers before they get downfield and maybe make a few more plays on the ball when it's in the air.
And only able to get 2 here, stopped at the 30.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
Now Cunningham. That is caught. And he'll be taken down, but he does have 1st down yardage. Got what they needed there. The drive continues with a 9-yard pickup.
This offense is starting to get into rhythm. A nice quick throw there on target, able to pick up another 1st down.
Here's a fake on the jet sweep, and instead a give up the middle. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down. Will come up 2nd and 7. Cunningham. That one into the hands of his tailback, Samuels. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. It's a 10-yard gain there to set him up 1st and goal.
1st and goal at the 8-yard line.
70 Lions. Check out.
Here's Brooks. touchdown. Jonathan Brooks, his 5th rushing touchdown now on the year. And the Black Knights put the Knights' first points on the board as they take the early lead.
Sometimes you get a first and goal and you're back near the 7, 8, 9-yard line and you start thinking, maybe we'll run it here on first down to get half of what we need, so maybe we can have 2 or 3 shots at going for it from closer range. So this is a bonus right here. What a great run to work his way into the end zone.
The call is to go for 1 and kick the extra point. Footing likely going to be an issue all night here on a rainy night, but this one is good. A 10-play drive that time. And the capper that put it in the end zone, a run of 8 yards. Here is Wisnowski to boot it away following the touchdown. And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Back onto the field comes this offense, ready for their second drive. And the last drive, the first drive for them, not very good. 3 and out. What do they go to here?
Well, you don't look down at your play sheet and say, this is what the problem is. Let's find out who my playmakers are. Get the ball in their hands, and maybe the offensive move a little bit better.
Sometimes it's more important to get it to the right people rather than dialing up the right number.
Exactly.
Or the right play, yeah.
That too.
Second down and 8.
Brings up 2nd and 8.
Let's go.
Going play action, Wilkins. And incomplete. And this passing game's whole offense really didn't show up in the loss last week, and it hasn't started all that great here either.
Yeah, and they can't let that incompletion become an uh-oh moment. Like, oh boy, here we go again, just like last week. Each game is its own entity, treated as such.
And this pass broken up. Excellent coverage there on 3rd down, as that was not an easy one to hold on to.
Looks like a second empty possession to start the game, and certainly not the way you want to start when you come in off of a loss last week. Every team talks about starting fast. They're hoping on their next possession it can be a delayed fast start and get them going.
31 yards on the punt there. And they will take over 1st and 10. Columbus's offense just about ready to go again. They've got a 7-0 lead in the football as well as they start out 1st and 10. Looking to put a drive together.
19, Tiger, 19.
They'll start the drive with Samuels. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through, but that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. Columbus with the football here to begin the 2nd quarter. First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. Now Cunningham. And he's got his man in stride, complete. A gain of 8 there on the play. And it's 3rd and 4 now.
I'll give him credit there. Nice job on the drag route. Bring the receiver across the field, hoping he can catch it in stride and turn it up. He was able to do just that, although he's just a little bit short of the first down.
Cunningham to throw. And that is incomplete.
Like what I see so far out of this defense, because they've been showing their best coverages on 3rd down. So far, only allowed 1 conversion on a handful of attempts. One area of their game plan that they've executed to perfection.
Here's Mitch Wisnowski now on to punt. On that punt, we've got a man shaken up. So as the medical staff takes a look, we'll step aside. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. It hasn't gone particularly well for them. That's obvious. In these conditions, no points so far. They've got to get that offense on track. The question, how do they do it?
It is the age-old question, isn't it? And to me, finding a way to make sure your playmakers touch the ball without it being too exotic. Meaning you don't have to go deep down the field. Maybe you hit them on those short passes on the perimeter. Make sure you just turn around and hand it to your best runner and get out of the way. Don't cause any extra stress on your offense.
Ready,
got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. Over the middle into traffic, and that's complete. And they'll get 9 there as that sets them up better for third down. They'll come to the line here needing 9 yards to pick up the first.
60 Bison, 60 Bison.
Looking to throw, Wilkins. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And they work this well upfield across the 45. That third down conversion good for 23. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10.
68.
Now a handoff up the middle. Winner. Another nice gain, 16 yards there, and a first down again.
Vancouver, first down. 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line.
Yeah, they really needed to get something going, didn't they? They had punted on the last 2 possessions. The running game starting to come to the front for them, providing a nice pickup there to keep this drive going.
18 Cardinal, 18 Cardinal.
Now Wilkins off of play action. Rush coming, and he's taken down. That one will set him back nearly 10 yards here on first down of the sack.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes. And just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if they're going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, their quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. Wilkins. And that'll be incomplete.
Well, partner, guaranteed they approach this play with the idea of making up ground to make third down manageable. Unfortunately, with that incompletion, right back where they started on the last snap. Now they need a big third down play in order to pick up the yardage needed.
Now he's going to step up and run. So no sack. He gets back to the line of scrimmage, but it'll still bring up a 4th down.
Like it's been this negatively as he just got back to the line of scrimmage. But when you really analyze it, he took away a big play for the defense, made it an uneventful run because he avoided a sack and didn't lose yardage.
He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. It'll be just an 18-yard punt. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. He's been effective so far, over the 40-yard mark here in the second quarter. Don't forget about those guys up front, though. They've been effective, too.
The leverage game has been in their favor. They've been the ones who've been able to bend their knees, drop their hips, and get a little bit lower than the guys on the other side of the football, and they've moved them out of the way for the runner.
Sometimes that's tough for those big fellas.
Not an easy thing for them to do.
Trying to run inside, but nothing there. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Well, sometimes you just have to give credit to the defense. Great job there at the point of attack, holding up. They won their battles at the line of scrimmage, left him no space to try and run. A really nice job swarming to the ball carrier.
They'll stay on the ground with Brooks. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. The offense on third down tonight, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 11. Cunningham looking to throw. And he will not be able to hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. The coverage strong, and now it's 4th down.
Oh, I thought he had that one, and that was nearly a big third down conversion to give this drive some life. Instead, they're on the spot and help separate the receiver from the ball.
Wisnowski on to punt as he sends this one away. It's just a 32-yard punt with no return. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. And for him, it's been pretty limited involvement. Down on the scoreboard, maybe time to turn to this guy.
And you know me well. Winning games to me means starting with the running game and continuing to press the running game. Maybe you go away from him a little bit now, but bottom line is he hasn't touched it enough to make a difference.
Well, they haven't established that running game yet. The question is, will they? And he edges forward, but only gets a pair of yards out of it, and it's second down. Here's 2nd and 7.
Here we go. At the 45-yard line.
He'll get this into the hands of Price. A 1-yard gain there following the 3-yard pickup on first down. Now 3rd down and 7.
Cowboy 80.
Here's Wilkins. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. Offensively lucky they were able to keep the football, but now 4th down, so they'll have to boot it away.
I do think, though, they're going to look at this as a positive. 1, they recovered the fumble, so they retained possession. But 2, being able to punt it changes field position for them. Imagine if that turnover takes place there. Now your defense has to go onto the field and try and hold. Instead, they get a little breathing room.
Here's Matthew Hayball now. As the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. So possession goes over here on the punt. Columbus's offense just about ready to go again. As we eke closer and closer to intermission, Charles, remember last time out they punted. They would love to get points here, especially if this is going to be their final possession of the first half.
Yeah, and this is what close games feel like because the pressure is on both sides, but sometimes the pressure is a little bit higher on the team with the slight edge because they're trying to hold on to that, trying to increase it. Let's see how this one continues.
And now we're going to get a timeout here called by the defense. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter.
19-yard line.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Looking to throw. Cunningham. Pass complete. That's Lovett. He'll be dropped at the 25 after a gain of 6. And play is stopped here. Timeout. It's the defense calling the timeout here. That's their 2nd, so they'll have 1 remaining here in this second quarter. We'll be right back. They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks. Out of the gun here, it's Cunningham. And that is incomplete.
Well, he's smart enough to avoid the taunting rule, but I'll guarantee he quietly has told them, you might want to stop coming after me downfield because I just broke up another pass and took away a big shot that you were trying to succeed with.
It's a 40-yard punt, 6 yards on the return. Getting set to go again as we look at the back, heading onto the field again. They've given him some touches. They haven't had a lot of success on the ground. Do you maybe keep going to that well, or do you mix it up more?
I think you mix it up more, try and loosen things up. Get the defense to react to other people, other plays, but don't forget about it. That's your horse. You know, Secretary lost twice in his career.
So educational. That's very true, kids. Look it up. A great effort there. His 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Snowhawks are able to strike quickly here as they are in for 6.
We know it's primarily a passing league now, but anytime a runner breaks one like that, you've got to have a secondary that can find a way to it and find a way to get him on the ground. Absent of that, he's going to find the end zone every time.
Now the extra point try forthcoming. It's up and good, and we're tied at 7 here in quarter number 2. So they hit pay dirt on just one play. The long run, the scamper, and a very nice scamper into the end zone for the touchdown.
Matthew Wright set to kick
So
off.
all even at 7 now as they kick it away. And he'll be stopped up at the 25. Columbus's offense just about ready to go again. And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with him punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick first down.
11 on the play. First down, Columbus.
Operating from the gun, Cunningham. And that is incomplete.
That's some good closing speed there defensively, because that looked open for a minute. But that's great work with the ball in the air. Never gave up, converged on his man, and broke the play up.
Now a 2nd and 10. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. Now another timeout called for by the offense as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down. So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down.
Let's go now.
They'll look to throw again. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. Creeping up on a minute to play in this first half. Now they'll audible to something else.
Good for a Columbus first down. A 5-yard gain on the play. First down.
A play fake. Now Cunningham. And he will find his big tight end over the middle. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. Now the offense will burn their 3rd and final timeout as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Again, he'll drop to throw. And that is incomplete, but a penalty flag is down. This could possibly be a push-off. Looked like some hands both ways. They got it on the offense.
And sometimes there's a fine line between being the receiver and the DB, and he knocked that one away. Might have caused an incompletion that could have been an interception.
Here's Cunningham from the gun. Can't get away, and he's taken down. And while all of that was going on with a sack, it appears, unfortunately, we have an injured player. The medical staff is going to come out here and take a look, and we will take a short break. So now 20 yards to go on 2nd down after the sack. Work to be done. And here comes throw number 1 for the backup QB. And the pressure gets to him again. That time, multiple defenders getting pressure, and it's a loss of 6. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And unable to connect, incomplete. Now give them credit, they took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
And they're not going to go quietly into this halftime break. They know they're in for a fight, so they're trying to make every possession count. They took the big shot there, but it winds up incomplete.
On the jump. Ready. Rap 80.
A final shot before break. Reed. He's going to throw one up for the end zone. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. So halftime is upon us on Thursday night primetime, and we go off to Orlando. And Scott Hansen for our halftime report.
All right, Brandon, thanks much. Welcome in, everyone. Scott Hansen here in our thankfully dry studios in Orlando. That's obviously not the case at the stadium, where the rain continues to play a factor in this game. Who will take better advantage of it in the second half? To find out the answer, let's go back out to the stadium and rejoin our commentary team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Scott, thank you. The rain, if anything, maybe intensified while you were covering the halftime report. We'll see how these two coaching staffs want to approach this second half to come. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. And they will wrangle it down a couple yards shy of the 30. This offense ready to go to begin this third quarter. Well, the first half, very even. I mean, really, in all facets, this ball game tied, Charles. So as we start the third quarter, curious to see what the second half brings us.
Certainly am. I'm with you on that one. And we all know a lot of coaches from the NFL all the way down to the Pee Wee level. They love to spin it to their teams. Hey, we're starting a brand new, shorter ball game. It's all even. Let's go out and seize it. This is ours.
It's a gain of 5. Brings up 2nd and 5 at the 33-yard line.
From the 33, here's a 2nd and 5.
Here we go.
Carry now. And nowhere to run on the interior of that defensive line. He'll get back only to the line of scrimmage. They'll say no gain on the play there. Now it'll be 3rd down.
Go. Cougar 19. Let's go.
Now Wilkins. And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks.
1st and 10 at the 40-yard line.
Let's go.
On first down, Leonard. And he stopped immediately there. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
No gain on the play. 2nd and 10 at the 40-yard line.
A quick throw caught by Rice. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. Call it a loss of 2 there on the play. And that'll make it 3rd and 13. And not an easy spot here. They'll be in search of 13 yards to try to pick up the first. From the gun on 3rd down. Wilkins. Pressure comes and down he goes. It'll be a loss of 8 on the sack, and it's going to lead him to 4th down.
And this dominant defensive performance continued on that play. This poor quarterback has not received the protection he needs and has had to pick himself up off the turf far too often.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. They'll call that a 33-yard punt with no return. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. Their defense has done the job. Now it's the offense's turn as they've got it 1st and 10. Off the play fake. Cunningham. Throwing quickly there, but it's incomplete. Here's 2nd and 10.
Ready. Cowboys.
Back to throw. Reed. And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line, but once he made the catch, nowhere to turn that field and gain any yardage.
And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. A big play there on the catch and run, and it'll result in a fresh set of downs.
And that's the kind of play this offense needs to maybe kick them into gear a little bit. They've been stuck in neutral much of the game. Perhaps that can give them a little bit of confidence that big plays are out there.
On first down, it's Samuels. And he's going to get 7 out of this before being taken down at the 27.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, got to like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a first down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. He got maybe a half yard at most, but officially they'll be left with a 3rd and 2.
Pass the 60, pass the 60.
They'll go to the air here on 3rd and 2. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. They're able to convert with a gain of 4.
And the Columbus first down.
They go play action here on first down. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down.
Brings up 2nd and 10 at the 24-yard line.
Here we go. Stop. Ready.
Off play action. Reed. And this throw incomplete. And the defender all over him that time, but it's going to lead to 3rd down.
They haven't been able to stop them so far this series, but getting a nice little stand from their defense now.
This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10.
Let's go now. 18 Cardinal.
They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
We've seen these defenses make enough opportunistic plays to keep this one low scoring. Flying around, making plays on the ball, and we see yet another errant throw as a result.
And his kick is indeed good. And they take the lead here now at 10-7. So no problems at all on that one. And you know, there's virtually no win. This is a kicker's dream here tonight.
It absolutely is, isn't it? So to me, with no wind, it should be a passer's dream as well, right? But in this case, the defense held out. They had to force the field goal.
And no thought of bringing this one out. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll begin at the 35-yard line. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. He's had a good performance, moved the ball effectively on the ground. Of course, he has the 1 touchdown.
And when you're able to move it as effectively as you've described, that leads to finding a way into the end zone, and now he's just trying to do it for a 2nd time. And, of course, with that comes additional yardage.
Yeah, looking for additional yardage, and again, that 2nd score here in the 3rd quarter.
Oh, man, it's been a rough night for that offensive line, and it's only getting rougher. 5 sacks now that they've given up in this contest so far. It feels like the witching hour out here, doesn't it?
Okay, stupid question. What's the witching hour?
Yeah, the witching hour. That's when everything goes haywire late at night.
Into space at the 45. And he's able to get this to the 40-yard line before he's out of bounds. That one good for 26 and a first down.
That's good for a Vancouver first down.
Up the middle they go. Warner trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. Well, thanks for joining us here on a Thursday night in the NFL. 3rd quarter, 2nd and 10 coming up. Now the first carry here for the running back. And little room to maneuver there. He gets it down to about the 39. The 2nd down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there. They'll need to get it to the 30 for a first. This is 3rd down. Shotgun snap for Wilkins. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Rice. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. And they bring their punter out there now, as he'll come on to kick for a 6th time tonight. And now a low liner. I think he mishit it. Fair catch taken right at the 10-yard line. It'll be called just a 22-yard punt. Certainly not what he wanted. And the offense will come back out deep in their own territory.
19 Tiger, 19 Tiger.
Now a play fake here on first down. And that is incomplete. Wow, the coverage a little too good there, and it's second down.
This has certainly been a physical game so far. Limited scoring opportunities for both sides. And there's another chance that goes unfulfilled.
Here's a handoff to Brooks. And he'll take this one only up to about his 13-yard line. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead.
It's 3rd and 7.
False start's going to push him back, but these days, how hard must it be to be an offensive lineman?
It's very hard, Brandon. You've got defensive linemen flinching, trying to draw you off sides. You've got the loud crowds, and there are just so many super athletic players on defense now that you have to deal with each week. But through it all, these guys just sit in there for 4 quarters and slug it out.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. He's got his target. That's complete. And he'll be brought down at what's going to turn out to be the final play of this 3rd quarter. 4th quarter coming up here on Thursday Night Primetime. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's 2nd down.
It leads to 2nd and 10.
Off the play fake, Reed. Wide open receiver, complete. And he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. Both teams working on short rest, but this has been one of the better Thursday night games we've seen as they come up here on 1st and 10. On the RPO, he'll keep it himself. And he goes out of bounds. It looks like right at the 50. He'll get 10 there all on his own, but it'll be 2nd down.
2nd and inches at the 50-yard line.
Come on.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively. And now it brings up 3rd down.
Okay, break. Come on. Hey. Gotta be simple.
They'll try and run here with Brooks. And a pretty athletic run right there as he's going to get this down inside the 40. 62 yards rushing on 12 carries for him now. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. They'll run right here with Brooks. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. I'm sure that's going to be the formula. Just keep the ball on the ground. Keep that clock moving.
And when you have the lead this late in the game, above all, stay in bounds. Yes, take care of the football. Yes, gain yardage, but stay in bounds and let that clock tick.
Good work to pick up 7 yards there. That gets him into a 3rd and 1 situation.
And it's 3rd down.
Cowboy 80. Ready.
Oh, he had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete.
They converted twice on 3rd down that drive already, but couldn't make it a 3rd. We always talk about in-game adjustments. How about what the defense did there, able to shut them down on that attempt?
And off the crossbar, and it kicks back out. Needed maybe a foot or 2, but it's no good as it stands. And now it looks like we're going to get a timeout here. We've got a man shaken up. Hopefully, obviously nothing serious here. Medical staff, though, going to take a peek, and we'll take a break. Looking to put a drive together.
Ready. Ready.
Going play action, Wilkins. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
Partner, for once in my life, I'll be succinct. In a one-possession game, every single stop like that could be a difference maker.
2nd and 10. Operating from the gun. Wilkins. That'll be caught by Rice. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before you get a good head of steam going.
Got a man complete to Miller. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. A good pickup there, 21 yards.
Vancouver, first down. 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line.
This defense has certainly had an outstanding second half, haven't they? I know they just gave up a first down there, and for the offense, they're hoping that that's something that they can jumpstart with and maybe start to move the ball a little bit better. But it's been tough sledding for them here the entire second half.
Yeah, he's going to get 7 out of this before being taken down at the 27. Now a 2nd and 2.
It's a gain of 8. Brings up 2nd and 2.
They'll keep it on the ground. Woodard. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. He got maybe a half yard at most, but officially they'll be left with a 3rd and 2. The offense on 3rd down tonight, they've converted a third of their opportunities, 3 for 9. This time they face a 3rd and 2. Looking to throw, Wilkins. He'll try to pick it up himself, and he will not make it back to the line of scrimmage as he's going to be taken down. It'll go as a sack, a loss of 3, and in turn, it takes us to a 4th down. And you hate to say it with a rookie quarterback. He's done some good things, but overall, looked a little bit overwhelmed back there, hasn't he?
He certainly has. But in his defense, he didn't have a lot of time to throw the football. You like the way I said that? In his defense.
In his defense, I got it.
See what I did there?
Yeah, he needs better protection, that's for sure. I tell you, the life of a kicker. He has not been called on the entire game. He's over there by the net, but they send him out here in the 4th quarter and say, hey, go tie the game, will you? And guess what? He comes through.
I just don't know how they do it. I really don't. These cats are a different breed from you and me. That's a pressure kick, but that one was never in doubt.
And no thought of bringing this one out. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll begin the drive at the 30. Columbus's offense just about ready to go again. And we essentially have a brand-new ball game. After that last field goal has tied us all up, we brace for what should be an exciting rest of this 4th quarter. And he is going to lose yardage here. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage.
Here we go.
To throw is Reed. Off the play fake. Now a run here off the RPO. He'll keep it. They give him 10 that time as he was able to get away from the pressure and get a nice gain. This is 3rd and 2. Maybe the biggest play in this football game.
18 Cardinal. 18 Cardinal. Go.
They'll run the draw with Brooks. And he's got the first down yardage as he brings this up to the 47. And now, defensively, they're going to burn their first timeout. Remember, they get an extra time built in coming up here shortly at the 2-minute warning.
First down.
Let's go now.
Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. And this is going to be intercepted. And they take possession of the football and have it at the 36-yard line.
They'll take over 1st and 10 at their own 36.
CD, I know it's just his 2nd year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape, he's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, 2nd year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
Well, the Vancouver offense ready for their next drive. And the question, can they turn that interception into points? A tie game for the moment in the fourth quarter. They'll come up 1st and 10 here.
Stephanie! 60 Eagles! 60 Eagles!
They'll start this drive out on the ground. And he'll get what he can up the middle, 3 yards. That'll bring up 2nd down. Whistles now in a timeout defensively. So a wise move as they'll use the first of their timeouts to force one more play before the 2-minute warning. Now Wilkins off of play action. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. So it's our home team here in possession of the football as we come back. And they're facing a big 3rd down now in this tie ball game.
Ready? Cougar 19.
Wilkins. Oh, this will be incomplete. The rush gets home just as he was letting that go. That could have been worse. Instead, it's 4th down.
Well, the defense certainly did its job. They held up in that situation, and now on 4th down, you've got to punt this and try to get to overtime. There's no decision to be made in my estimation.
Now, fair catch is called for and taken at the, we'll call it the 37-yard line. 36 yards on the punt with no return. This is 1st and 10. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. Plenty of time and 2 timeouts still at their disposal. 1st and 10 here. Looking to throw. Reed. Throwing into traffic there, and that's complete. Now a 2nd timeout called for by the defense, as they'll get it with just under 90 seconds remaining. Here's 2nd down. On the handoff, this is Brooks. And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line.
Partner, they're clearly saving those timeouts, but they still have to work with some urgency to put themselves in the right position.
It's a gain of 10.
Now on 1st down, he'll drop to throw it. But he will find his man on the end route. Complete.
That's another Columbus.
Here's 1st and 10.
A gain of 15.
But now an audible here into something else. Back to throw now on 1st down. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Now another timeout called for by the offense, as the clock stops here with 46 seconds left to play.
Back to 60. Back to 60.
Reed now. From the gun, he'll throw. And his throw here is incomplete. A couple extra defensive backs out there in the dime, and because of that, really not many places to throw the football, if any.
And typically, what would you want to do against that dime?
Run the football.
You want to run the ball, but you can't do it in this situation. Not nearly enough time on the clock. You have to really navigate against a tough defense presented against you.
Now Reed from the gun on 3rd down. And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. Now the defense will burn their 3rd and final timeout as they stop it here with just under 40 seconds to go in the game.
I think you saw the same thing that I did there, partner. Remember, he's their backup quarterback, so the last thing they need is to lose another one right here on the sack. Looks like he's going to be okay, though.
Yeah, he looked like he was favoring something in the left leg. Appears to be fine now, but you're right. That O-line, they got to protect it. All right, so time to reset here. It's a huge kick there, gives them the lead, but they've got to be careful that their celebrations aren't a little too premature.
You're exactly right about that, because there still is time for the other guys to run a few plays and get into field goal position. So this defense is going to need to come up with one final stop if they're going to get out of here with a victory.
And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23. The situation for him offensively as follows. Down 13-10, a little over 30 seconds remaining. They need, at minimum, 3 points out of this as they come up first and 10.
Hawk 70, Hawk 70.
They'll start this drive out on the ground. And he'll be taken down as that'll net him only about a gain of 9. Here's second and a yard.
A gain of 9 brings up second and 1.
They'll look to throw. He's going to let it fly. Oh, and that is incomplete.
Incomplete. Brings up third down and 1.
This definitely 4-down territory at this point, but a critical third down here.
18 Cardinal, 18 Cardinal.
He's back to throw. And that is incomplete. 7 seconds remaining. 2-minute drills, they're tough enough, pressure-packed enough, and these elements makes it significantly tougher.
And you don't have the margin where you can say, okay, I can allow for certain things and maybe change up a little bit. Because it's a 2-minute situation, you've got to try and make the same plays you would make if the elements didn't exist.
He'll try to do it himself. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And that'll be just about all she wrote for this one.
Get it. 60 Eagles, 60 Eagles.
Victory very much in sight now as they'll take a knee. So this crowd will not go home happy. It's a victory for our visitors, and this one won't be remembered for many offensive fireworks, but they did enough to get the job done.
And that's why it's a team game, because sometimes you have to lean on one part of your team. And they leaned on their defense. In fact, they probably went over there and asked for some help. Like, guys, we just don't have it in this one. Can you hook us up? And they did in a big way. Said, no problem. Put it on our shoulders. We'll carry you home. And they did exactly that.
So for Columbus, it's an important win in terms of staying in the postseason race as they move to 6-4. And they'll get a few extra days to get ready for next week. Meanwhile, for Vancouver, they're going the wrong way as this will drop them to 3-7 now on the year. And they will try to get back in the swing of things next week on the road.